Hi everybody, my name is Mark from the Vegan Mooncat, and today I'll be talking about juice. I'm not talking about shop-bought juice that's highly processed with added sugar. I'm talking about homemade, healthy juice to boost the immune system and give you a great start to the day. Before I went vegan, I really didn't care what nutrition was in the juice that I was buying. As long as I liked the taste of it, that was more than enough. My introduction to drinking healthy juices goes back around 4 years when I was first going vegan, and I wanted a way to detox myself and get all the bad stuff that I'd been eating and drinking out of my system so I could have a good, clean start on a whole foods vegan diet. Around that time I watched a documentary called Fat, Sick and Nearly Dead with a man called Joe Cross. Anyone who wants to watch that, I'll put the link in the description so you can go and check it out. In the documentary, Joe goes on a very long juice fast to cure both an autoimmune disorder and also his obesity. Now, I've not gone to the levels that he did, but in the film it did demonstrate the power of plants. So after watching Joe in the documentary, I decided to go on a 10-day juice fast. Now, this wasn't really for losing weight, this was more as a reset to enable me to move forward on a whole foods vegan diet and get all the absolute rubbish, the animal products, the fizzy pops, the junk food, all out of my system so I could get on with a full clean start. The reason why I chose to drink juice rather than say water during this period is that I wanted to make sure I was still getting micronutrients in the body to make sure that it wasn't completely and utterly starved of nutrition. I'm not going to lie, I find it extremely difficult to go 10 days without eating food. I know people have done it for longer, but I like my food and I find it extremely hard work, to be honest. But it did its job, and on the 11th day when I was able to eat again, I was so excited to eat any kind of food whatsoever, and I got all that junk out of my system that switching to the whole foods vegan diet, in my opinion, was that much easier for me. I did lose about 25 pounds during the juice fast, even though that absolutely wasn't the main reason why I did it, and I don't think anyone should juice just solely for losing weight, in my opinion. Also, around that time I was suffering with quite severe psoriasis, which was covering around 70% of my body, and after the juice fast, I'd say it had probably gone away by about 50%, so it was making a real difference to the psoriasis as well, which was a real good bonus. So it's been 4 years since the initial juice fast, and during that time when I felt myself maybe moving towards a more of a junk vegan diet, I've used the power of juicing to give myself a break, reset, and let me move forward and carry on with a healthy diet. I've never gone back to doing the 10-day juice fast. It's always between 1 and 3 because I can't go 10 days without eating. It's just too much for me, to be honest. But generally how I incorporate the juicing in my day-to-day life is to just have one of the healthy juices every single day in conjunction with a whole foods vegan diet, minimal processed foods and no oil. And that's it really, just as a supplement to make sure I'm feeling as healthy as possible. Anyway, I think I've spoken enough about how I ended up incorporating juices into my life, and I think it's about time to show you my favourite juice that I use on a daily basis. So here we go, here's the ingredients. What I'm going to be using today is 1 lime. You can use lemon if you want to. Nutritionally, there's not too much difference, so feel free to switch that out if you prefer lemon. Also, 1 large piece of ginger. I really like the taste of ginger, and also it's an extremely good anti-inflammatory, so definitely worth putting that in. 2 apples, which just sweetens the whole thing up, which is never a bad thing when you're dealing with so much greenery. Also, I have 4 sticks of celery, 1 large cucumber, and 8 cabbage leaves. You can use kale as well, which I often do, but I have none of that in today. So I'll chop these up off camera and then we'll put them in the juicer, and yeah, I'll be right back with you. Back again, this is my juicer. Let's get on with it and I'll show you how it goes. So my juicer is a Phillips juicer, and it's also what's called a masticating juicer. That's basically that it chews everything up as if you were chewing it in your mouth, basically. You can get something called a centrifugal juicer, which spins everything really, really fast. And that basically forces the juice out. I used to have one of those, but they're very, very loud, and to be honest, I went through about 2 of them, and they just weren't as reliable as this one is. If anyone's interested in this juicer, I'll put a link to the Amazon listing in the description of the video so you can check that out. So first things first, we'll turn it on and I'll show you what it does. So as you can see, this part here spins round and it pushes it down a little filter that's under here and forces the juice out, leaving all the fibrous material to come out the end as a waste product. It's a little bit noisy, but I think that's the same for most juicers. This is just a little tap which allows the juice to come out. So what I tend to do first is put something maybe like the cucumber through, whereas that will just lubricate the whole thing a little bit, allowing everything to go through better. Now they do come with a little plunger, so you can plunge it down there. As you can see, the cucumber comes out the end and the juice comes out in the middle tank. So now that's gone through, I'll start sticking some of the kale in. A lot of this stuff won't fit in the top spout, so what I tend to do is just lift that up and push it under, and then I can just poke it with the plunger, or whatever its actual real name is. The cabbage or the kale, whichever one you're using, tends to have a drier, less juicy texture, so if it starts clogging the juicer up, it's worth putting something like the cucumber or an apple through, which will basically just help it go down that little bit easier. Oh, left the label on there. So you can stick some of the celery in there, get that in. Doesn't take too long, it's pretty quick. I always tend to leave the rind on this because I don't mind it. It gives it a little bit of an extra zing, which I don't mind at all, to be honest. As you can see, the lime tends to juice really, really quick because it's so soft. Anyway, I'll juice the rest of this and then I'll come straight back to you. So there you go, all done. And as you can see, what we have here is all the waste fibrous material that we don't want, and that can go there. You can use that for something else if you want to compost with it or anything else. And here we have all the lovely juice. So what we'll do is we'll get this stirred up, put it in a cup, and I'll be right back. So here we go, this is it. This is a healthy green juice with way more nutrients than anything you'll ever buy from the shop. And the amount of ingredients that we use gives you about 2 of these glasses, so you can spread it out throughout the day if you don't want to drink it all at once. I had this juice quite a lot and it is really one of my favourites, so I already know what it's going to taste like, but I'm going to taste it on camera and show you just how wonderful it really is. That really is good. I'm not saying it. I know people going, oh, he's drinking like cabbage and cucumber and God knows whatever else. No, it really, really is nice. Now, I did put a lot of lime in there. If you're not quite as keen on lime as I am, maybe reduce that to a half or a quarter. But I like the really citrusy flavour. And it does tend to mask some of the greener ingredients. And it does just taste a bit like lime cordial, to be honest. So yeah, give this a blast. You won't regret it. It's really, really healthy. So if you're feeling run down, or you just want to be as healthy as possible, or maybe you're just trying to boost your immune system to make sure that you can fight off as many diseases as possible, give the green juice a go. It really is amazing. Oh, that's good. Well, that's it, everybody. I'd like to thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please hit subscribe and the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. You can also follow me on Instagram at @theveganmooncat to see what I'm up to on a daily basis. I'd also like to thank my Patreon supporters for all their help. It really, really makes a difference to the channel, allows me to buy new equipment, and just generally try to make the channel as good as it possibly can be. So, real big thumbs up to you guys. Thanks so much. And thanks again to everyone else for watching, and I hope you can join me next time. See you later.